Okay, good morning, grade 12 Yums.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, yes, it's another
Good morning
day.
po.
Okay, good morning. It's another day for us to learn about community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship. And the time has come for us to apply all those learnings since you have the discipline and ideas in social sciences, the discipline and ideas in applied social sciences, and now to our subject that focuses on helping our community, in helping in the facilitation of the development in our community, our society. So let's get it on. So let me just present our slides. So for a moment. Okay. All right. Now, what is ethnography? So, this is a concept that has something to do with our discussion for today. Now, I want you to go to Mentimeter at www.menti.com and enter the code 39844750. And then you will enter there a word or a concept that comes into your mind when you heard or read the word ethnography. Okay. Also, in the Mentimeter, I can verify your attendance, the number of attendees for today. Okay, so let's take a look at our Mentimeter. Again, www.menti.com, code 39844750. Okay, so what words come to mind? So we have there, I can see survey, engage, observations, a descriptive method, research method, involvement, wow, interview, interpretation. So let's see. We have 10 participants. I think we are 13 if I'm right. So we're waiting for other three to cast their entries. 12. So I'm waiting for one student. Involvement field. Practicum. Okay, skill. Okay, so I think everybody's done. So we have 12 people who answered. And okay. So from the given answers, do you which do you think is the most useful word or the useful words to define ethnography? Yes, Zaira.
I think the most useful words that can define ethnography is observations,
Mhm.
qualitative research, and field practicum.
Okay, a field practicum. Do you agree with that, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what
Yes, ma'am.
what are the other words aside from field practicum? You said qualitative research and
Observations po.
observation. Okay, so from the word you chose and from the other answers given by your classmates, can you create a definition for ethnography?
Basically, ethnography is the study of systematic recording of human cultures with in-depth analysis of human behavior via practicing field practicum.
Okay, thank you, Zaira. So, yan. Very good, Sarah. And all of you are also very good. No? Your thoughts are in the right path. So, congratulations. All right. In ethnography, like what Zaira said, it studies human culture, diba? The everyday life and practice in a community. But it should be detailed and there is an in-depth description. So, this is actually a research method that can be done through fieldwork or for the students, it is called field practicum. Okay. So what do you think is our lesson for today? Yes, Frenna?
Ma'am, I think po it's all about the application of ethnography and the things to consider in conducting a field practicum.
Okay, very good. That's right. So for today, we will discuss community action initiatives field practicum. And when we say field practicum, it is the culminating activity. So, meaning it's the last one that gives weight to immersion and allows the student to directly observe, participate, and experience the context of community. So, this is like work immersion, but you will be immersed in a field or community for an extended period of time because you have to observe everything in the community. However, we will modify some activities here since we are in pandemic situation and we don't want you to be at risk since we are all experiencing this crisis. Okay, so before we proceed, I'd like to present to you our objectives. First, define ethnography. Second, perform a video analysis and formulate a community action plan. And third, state the importance of ethnography by interpreting a video. All right. For our first activity, since we are not allowed to go out and conduct a fieldwork, we are just expecting now the two groups to present a short sample of an ethnographic video and to prepare your collaborated views about it based on the following guide questions. Okay. First, did the ethnographer show a descriptive information in the video? And second, did the ethnographer show a reflective information and make ethical considerations in the video? Okay, by the way, what is the difference between descriptive information and reflective information? Yes, Uni.
The difference between descriptive information and reflective information is when we say descriptive
Mhm,
information, this refers to accurately documented factual data such as date and time and the setting and conditions in the community.
mhm.
Observations of the actions, behaviors, and conversations of community members are also example of descriptive information. On the other hand, reflective information are the thoughts, ideas, questions, and concerns of the researcher during his or her field work in the community.
Okay, thank you, Unilin. So that's correct. Descriptive information are more on documented facts, no? While reflective information are more on thoughts, ideas, questions, and concerns. And by the way, the views that will be presented by your representative will be posted by one of your members in our Jamboard later. Okay, in this case, we will also observe the situation and observe the ways of the researcher on how he or she conducted an ethnographic study. So for now, you cannot experience this yet, but when you go to college, this method may help you when you do your research papers or your thesis. So this is the rubric for this activity. We have the following criteria: organization, content, and style with a perfect score of 30 points. Okay, so I think all the groups are ready. So let's start with group one.
So, after analyzing and watching the whole documentary of Miss Cara David about how some indigenous people and some people living in the remote area, specifically in Sitio Oyandang in Mindoro Oriental, deal with the lack of healthcare services, we could say that she have performed and followed the necessary guidelines for a field practicum. Miss Cara David have clearly shown the situations and the struggles of the community. She interviewed the persons around the community, like the sitio captain, the patient's name, Lowen, and especially the persons carrying the patient to the nearest yet far hospital. She also always considered the rights of the person she was interviewing, like asking for permissions first before the interview itself. She didn't exaggerate the cases, but yet she tried to experience them, and she lived with the family of Lowen. She ate with them and even slept with them for her to completely understand and empathize. in the life in the community.
Okay, thank you, Brian. So to recap in our Jamboard, we can see there you have said Miss Cara David followed the guidelines, sympathized the struggles, considered the rights, and didn't overstate the situation. So have you observed any gaps in the video while the researcher or Miss Cara David was doing the field practicum or the field work?
I must say there's no gaps, ma'am.
Okay, then that's great. In your own opinion, Brian, how is the condition of the contemporary life of that community?
Well, for me, the life of that community, that Sitio Oyandang in Mindoro Oriental, was so difficult when it comes into accessing healthcare services like hospitals and health centers.
All right, can you just tell or the main or what do you think is the main problem of that community that need to be resolved?
Based on the documentary, it clearly shows that the community is struggling with the lack of access to healthcare services like hospitals and health centers, ma'am.
Okay, in your own opinion, or I mean, so from that problem, have you seen in the people in that community unite for a common goal?
Yes, ma'am. But for the meantime,
Mm-hmm.
the people in the community are doing the carrying of the patient from
Mm-hmm.
top of the mountain down to the nearest yet far hospital.
Okay, so thank you, Brian. Class, do you agree with what Brian said, or are there any additions? Yes, Noel.
I agree, Mom, to the discussion of group one because they really explain and discuss the important details on that particular documentary.
Okay, thank you, Noel. So let's proceed with group two.
Linggo, araw ng pahinga. Pero hindi uso ang salitang ito sa pamilya Liwanag.
Paano gagawin dito, Tay?
Kukuha po ako ng bigas.
Ah, ng bigas.
Diyan po kami umuutang ng bigas.
Magkano po lahat-lahat?
3.9.
At 399. Ito po yung kinuha nila ngayon. Ilang buho po yung kailangan nating mababa para mabayaran tong pananghalian?
60.
60. Anim na pong buho.
2 oras ang lakaran paakyat sa gubat kung saan tumutubo ang mga buho. Karamihan sa mga aita ng sitio Malipano sa Zambales, pagbubuho o pagbebenta ng mga tinabas na kawayan ang kinagisnang kabuhayan.
Ilan ang kailangan natin gawin? 60? Ha? 60. Kasi may utang tayong 399 pesos dun sa sari-sari store. So, kailangan makabuo ng 60 na buho.
Ako po si Cara David at ito po ang Eyewitness.
Okay, guys, if you're going to watch the entire documentary and gonna look closely on every detail, you will see that Mrs. Cara performed the necessary observations or guidelines that is needed in doing an observation in a particular documentary. For example, about descriptive information, in which he was able to reveal and explain the state of life, the story, routine of life of that specific family. He just showed to us what danger will going to happen if you will gonna do that kind of job, the difficulties of doing that kind of job, and to be able to have money for their food, to be able to survive. On the ethical and reflective side, Miss Cara has experienced, felt, tried, and valued the routine and traditional work, the life of Mambubuho or bamboo seller, which we can say that it supports the moral values, principles, and especially respect.
Okay, very good, Noel. Thank you. So let's have a recap. Let's take a look at our Jamboard. So we can see there you have said that first, there was a descriptive information in which the researcher, Miss Cara David, was able to reveal and explain the state of life, story, and routine of life of that specific family. Correct ba yun, Noel?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, so where's the another Jamboard notes there? Okay, let's just wait for the encoder. Can you tell us again, Noel, the life of the Mambubuho?
Okay, the life of Mambubuhu there is they were gonna go up on the mountain to see the bamboo trees that is usually you can see it on the top of the mountain because there's a lot of plenty bamboo there. Then they were gonna get or harvest it and gonna bring it down to the marketplace and gonna exchange it to money to be able to pay all the debts that they owe in the sari store that they came from.
Okay, thank you. So here in our Jamboard, it said there, on the ethical and reflective side, Miss Cara has experienced, okay, ito yung mga words, no? Experience, felt, tried, and valued the routine and traditional work, the life of a mambubuho or bamboo seller, which we can say that she supports the moral values and respect the practice of the culture of the tribe. Okay, so thank you, Noel. Have you observed gaps in the video while doing the field work?
Nothing, ma'am. As I said, Miss Cara gave all the important information she was supposed to send or to show to the viewers.
Okay, that's very good. So, same question. In your opinion, how is the condition of the current life of the community?
The life there is hard and sad, where
Mhm.
diligence, despite Calvary, is all you have to have just to survive hunger and poverty.
So, can you give the main problem of that community that need to be resolved?
The main community problem there is hunger and poverty.
Hunger and poverty. So, have you seen the people in that community unite to resolve that problem?
Yes, the very best example there is
Mm-mm.
particularly to the transaction from the sari-sari store, which allow them to borrow food for a day, where from this simple act they take unity, as well as those members of their family who also help, even at the very young age, which likely lead them to achieve one common goal.
Okay, thank you, Noel. Class, do you agree with that? Are there any additions? Yes, Brian?
Um, I agree with what they have discussed or explained, and uh, the documentary really shows that Miss Cara
Mhm.
David showed the all the necessary guidelines have been followed with that documentary.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Noel. Very good. So, that was the phase for the participant observation. You saw there that the participant or the researcher will be immersed, meaning will stay in a community for a certain and extended period of time. So others stay like for 6 months or a year just to observe and understand the way of living of the people in the community in order for the researcher to participate also and to help in solving their problems and in developing their community. Okay. Now, in our second activity, it's now our turn to plan for a solution. So, we will formulate a community action plan based on the following guide questions. Number one, how can the identified problems be solved? And in your own opinion, how can you help improve the conditions in your community or in that community, especially during pandemic? Okay. So I prepared a template of the community action plan in the Google Sheet. Go to the link posted on your screens and also in our chat box. So I'll just place the link there. Okay. So you are only given 1 minute to collaborate and fill out the template with your proposed solution. Are there any questions?
None po.
Oh,
Nani po.
okay, thank you. Again, we will use this rubric. Now let me present the Google Sheet. Okay, here. So timer starts now. You only have 1 minute. Okay, group one has two proposed solutions. Let's take a look at group two. They have three. I think they are still typing for another one. Okay, group one's almost done. Okay, keep going. Group two, we only have a 1 minute to fill out this template or to fill out this community action plan. Again, the problem for group one is healthcare access based on the video about ambulancia de paa. And then group two's problem, hunger and poverty. So based on the video about the mambubuho. Okay. So, and so I think group one is ready. So group one, please present your work.
So, okay everyone, for group 1, these are our proposed solutions for the problem of Mangyans on accessing quality life healthcare service. First, we have the plan of developing highways and better pathways, such as municipal and interurban roads, to help them access the town easily. Even Mangyans are already satisfied with their living, but we can't neglect the fact that there are still needs that not available in their surrounding. So they have to go to the town to get those. But the thing is, the travel is long. And not only long, but hard and risky. They have to go through rocky terrains, climb climb mountains, and pass by the river. So with the solution, it can make their travel easier with getting supplies that are only available there. Those persons involved here are the locals, specifically Mangyans, local government unit of Mindoro, and the Department of Public Works and Highways. The project's target period to accomplish is estimated to 2 to 3 years, and the project's potential source of budget can be LGUs, na- national government, and other private sponsorships. On the other part, we have the multiplying of healthcare establishments, like health centers and public hospitals. In this solution, it can cater more local to access healthcare services and treat their diseases medically. Because it might be seen on the video recently, the guy on the swing or that ambulancia, di ba, was diagnosed with tuberculosis. And because with the difficulty of traveling and insufficiency of knowledge about the modern medicine, his family gave him false medications and supplements that are not curing him at all. Even though tuberculosis these days can be treated and cured for only 6 months of medication. With the presence of hospitals and medicines on the vicinity, they can have the hope of healing and treatment from the sickness that they thought that would never heal. The people involved here are the locals, Department of Health, and the LGU. the target period of accomplishment would be around 2 to 3 years too. And the source of budget can be LGUs, national government, and other private sponsorships. Wala, di pa nakabuhay.
Okay, thank you, Jobel. Very good solutions. So, you propose to develop highways and the healthcare establishment. In your own opinion, Jobel, as a student, and of course, you are not allowed to go out. How can you help improve the conditions of that community and to achieve those goals, especially during this pandemic?
Since it's now pandemic, I think it of making a blog about it and make it viral to every social media platforms so that people know that these people live in this type of lifestyle and struggles, and we can reach the government with it. They have to acknowledge that these type of problems exist to the remote areas of the island, and if I'm fortunate, I can invite and gather people that has the will to help them.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Jobel. Now let's hear from Group 2.
Our community action plan. Our proposed solution to the problem about poverty and hunger. First is that building infrastructure by DPWH facilitators, feeding annual feeding programs for indigent people, especially for the children, and economic security, which is guided by TESDA for middle age around 18 to 40 years old, to upgrade their skills about the new technologies nowadays. And then, person involved, DPWH facilitators, we have Save the Children, TESDA, volunteer educators, advocates, or ALS, Alternative Learning Systems. Target period, around to June 2022 to June 2025. Possible source of budget are LGU or local government units, NGO, non-government officials, and prospective sponsors from public and private sectors. This is our proposed activity. Since we just noticed that this group of people don't have sufficient infrastructure, more specifically sufficient shelter. Feeding programs for children since they can't afford nutritious food and they must actually work hard for a living. Even the children are working. TESDA to upgrade the skills of adults in ethnography community, and lastly, the access of education for them to have a better future towards productive ends. And also an activity to generate practical skills for a better living.
Okay, done, Jamie.
Yes po.
Okay, can you turn off your mic first? Thank you. All right. So the solutions are to have additional infrastructures by having feeding programs, to propose also having a program under TESDA and ALS. Okay. So in your own opinion, same question. As a student and is not allowed to go out, how can you help improve the conditions of that community and to help in achieving those goals? I mean, to solve the problems.
As a student who is not allowed to go out, I can say that in order to help my community, or to improve my community, is that I ought to consider my conscious effort, unity, and active participation in my community by following safety protocols to resist the COVID and to learn self-discipline as well. I can help the community to achieve this goal by personal touch or rapport building so that I will inevitably convince them to participate in the said field practicum. And also, additionally, I will create some blogs to disseminate in social media platforms so that persons in authority will access them or will reach them out. And additional to the educational system, I will write letters to those authorities in order for them to build school centers for non-formal and informal education. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, very good, Jamie. Very good also, Jobel. Thank you very much for a job well done. Now you know how to observe and what are the things to consider before you make a plan. Okay, so this time I want you to watch this and tell me about your views, okay, about this video. Okay, so how was it? What can you say about the video?
Ma'am,
Okay, yes, Jarel.
the video shows how the guy wears his shoes and never cleans them until his mother maybe noticed that he does not respect his mother's job. She stopped from cleaning them every day and the guy started to clean it by himself. As he does it every day, he probably remembered how difficult it was for his mother to clean his shoes. I think the video demonstrates the value of empathy. The video interprets how the guy learns on his own by doing things that we can incorporate in doing ethnography in our field practicum. Because without empathy, without valuing others, we cannot understand others people's ways and we may not be able to help them fully in the future.
Okay, thank you, Jarel. Um, did you see that? Without empathy, we cannot understand others. And if we cannot understand others, we cannot help them. We may be able to give cash, donations, but we cannot give what they really want. Okay? Even we are not immersed in a community, even in our own homes, we should also practice to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. Okay? And before we end, of course, let's have a quiz. Now go to the link posted on your screen. Okay, joinmyquiz.com and you enter this code. Okay, for a moment. So make sure you already log in at www.quizzes.com and enter the game code 805292. Okay, again, the game code is 805292. Okay, I'll wait for you guys. Okay, ayan, ang dami na nila kaagad. 4, 5, we have Nova, Jubel, Joshua in the house, Zaira, Unilyn, Mary Joy, Cheryl, Noel, Eva, Brian. Okay, I think we have 2 or more students. Okay, where is Jamie and Frena? Again, the game code is 805292. I think they have some internet problems. So, okay, let's start the quiz. Okay, first question. Ethnography provides a detailed and in-depth description of everyday life and practice in a community. Is it true or false? Okay, 5 seconds left. All done. And the answer for that is yes, Jorelyn.
True po.
All right, very good. So the answer is true. Wow. All of you got the correct answer. Okay, next question. I think Zaira is on the lead. Okay, next question. Participant action is the direct immersion of the researcher in the field, or in this case, the community for an extended period of time. Okay, 10 seconds left. There are 3 more students who are not yet answering. Oh no, 3 seconds left. Oh, sorry for that one last student. All right, still Zaira on the lead. And the correct answer for that is number 2. Yes,
Ma'am,
yes, Eva.
false po.
And why false?
Because it's not participant action, but it is participant observation.
Yes, very good. It's participant observation. And all of you, again, got the correct answer except for one. Hindi nakahabol. Next question. Field trip allows the student to directly observe, participate, and experience the context of communities. Wow, ang bibilis ninyo ah. Okay, 10 seconds left. Okay, 3 more students. We're waiting for 3 more students. Oh, sorry for the 2 students who did not answer. Maybe because of internet lag. Still, Zaira on the lead. Okay, and the answer for that, number 3, Nova.
False po.
And
It
why
should,
false?
it's not field trip po. It should
Mm.
be field practicum po.
Yes, it's field practicum. So again, you got it right. Okay, very good. Next question. Descriptive information refers to accurately documented factual data such as date and time and the setting and conditions in the community. Okay, is it true or false? 6 seconds left. All right. Okay, time's up. Let's see who's on the lead. Still, Zaira. Okay, and what is the answer? Yes, Joshua.
The answer is true.
The answer is true. Okay, thank you. Very good. And I think this is the last question. Reflective information are the thoughts, ideas, questions, and concerns of the researcher during his or her fieldwork in the community. Okay, 10 seconds left. Okay, two more students. Oh no, 1 second. Time's up. Who's on the lead? Still Zaira. And what's the correct answer for that question? Yes, Mary Joy.
It's true po, ma'am.
True. Okay, very good. So, let's end this quiz. Very good kayong lahat. Tignan natin who are the top 3 winners. Okay, let's just wait for this. Ayan. So, here is the there. Okay, congratulations. First is Zaira, second is Brian, and third is Jerel. Okay. All right. So, congratulations for having high scores. Almost all of you got it perfectly. Also, you all got 30 points on your presentations a while ago in our activities. Okay. Again, thank you and congratulations. You did a great job. Okay. Do you still have any questions, class?
None po.
Done
None
po.
po.
None? Sure. Okay. Thank you. And I'll see you in our next meeting and prepare for a summative test. Thank you, grade 12.
Thank you po.
Thank you
Thank
po.
you.
Thank you,
Bye. Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you po.